Shalom. I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Rakakadash, and double honors to the apostles and others who grant millstone and salutations to the whole elect. This is Brother I'm Noah Allah from Gemma, Chicago, and this is going to be a quick lesson on about Joel 2. Alright? And it's speaking about the World War III prophecy, being fulfilled. Alright, but before World War III goes full blown, where the missiles be shot, first the implementation of the RFID microchip has to come first. Alright, and we can see that by the events that are taking place, here on this earth. Alright, here you have Trump. Not too long ago, he signed a new bill. Alright. Signed a new bill. Alright, Trump signs first major federal cryptocurrency bill into law. And this is just gradualism to, the MOTB. Alright, so before the missiles get shot, alright, before the ICBMs, launch, right, the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, has to come to pass first. Alright, and that's what we're beginning to see. Right? Let's say Trump signs Landmark Genius Act, hailing exciting new frontier for crypto. Trump signs first major federal cryptocurrency bill into law. From the beginning, Trump was totally against cryptocurrency. But really, at the end of the day, the elites that are pulling the strings behind the scenes, alright, they have this man, they basically have this man as, as controlling, Trump as a puppet, alright, so basically Trump, alright, he is doing what the elites want him to do, alright. I'm going to start with Joel 2:1. It says, "Blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm. In my holy mountain let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh. For it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations." And this is speaking about missiles, right? The ICBM missiles, right? Because when NATO and the EU, Russia, China, right, the BRICS nations decided to shoot and launch the ICBMs to America, right, it's game over for America. Right? America is going to be completely wiped out. Right? You're gonna have a lot of ICBM missiles, alright, covering the sky and touching ground onto this place. And it's a vision too, right? Because when Joel saw the vision, right, he couldn't really explain with accurate words of what it was, right? So he, to the best of his ability, described what they were. Let's say 2nd Ezra 16 and 13. It says, says, the Lord shall threaten, and who shall not? It's like I'm gonna start with verse 12. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth with the waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. And it says when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. And as what he was describing the missiles, all right, he didn't say that they were missiles. He didn't say that they were actually missiles. He described them as arrows, all right, that are being shot off from the warheads from one end of the earth onto the other, all right. And the only arrow that can do that, or the only technology, the only instrument that can do that, is the ICBM missiles, and they stand for Intercontinental Ballistic Missiles, alright? And they're going to be shot off from the warheads too. It says, behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. See, speaking about the missiles, because once they be shot and they hit the ground, they explode. They create a big ass mushroom cloud. Verse 16, like as an arrow which is shot off a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Let's go back. It says, a great people and a strong there hath not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after it, even until years and many generations. And we're just going to go ahead and go to Revelations 9 and 2. As is so, 9 and 12. It says, one woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. The one woe, one war, World War, speaking about World War One, Second War, World War Two, pretty straightforward. And here, you hear a lot of talks about, a third war, right? And by the way of, nuclear missiles, ICBMs, right? And we're getting closer to that point too. Never in history in your entire life have you ever experienced, these many wars, occurring at the same time. You got the war over there in Ukraine, Russia and Ukraine, right? Israel and Gaza, the Palestinians, Israel, Iran, the trade war that is going on right now with these tariffs, right? Which will soon escalate even further. But yeah, you're seeing these wars being popped off right now. You have also escalations between China and Taiwan, where China is about to attack Taiwan soon. But yeah, the third world war is getting started. Is getting is brewing in the midst. All right, verse 13. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar which is before God, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day, and for a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men. Third part of men, that being of Esau. Alright. But not only Esau, but 2/3 of our people are going to die, right? Esau is, the wicked. He is definitely going to get destroyed. But some of them are going to go into captivity because you're going to have the elites in their bunkers, which the elect are going to snatch them out of there and put them in, you know, cuffs, and they're going to be, put into captivity. But it says, and a month, and the 4 angels were loose, which were prepared for a day, and an hour, and a day, and a month, and a year, for to slay the third part of men. Also the heathens too. All right. There's gonna be a lot of destruction here in America. America's about to be hit with a bunch of missiles, and we understand that here in America, there's a bunch of diversity of people. You got Chinese here, you got French, Polish, Russians, of course. You got Chinese, Japanese, Filipinos. A mixture basically here in America. All right. But it says verse 16, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them, and thus I saw the horses in a vision. And them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and jacinth and brimstone. The heads of the horses were as the heads of lions. It's talking about the heads of the ICBM missiles, all right? And out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. You see? You got an arrow flying, and as a prophet is describing them as having the head like a lion in a fire of smoke, and from the back of it a burning of smoke and brimstone. But it says verse 18, by these three was the third part of men killed by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. For the power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. And you're looking at this ICBM missile as what the prophet was describing them, right? It looked like a serpent. It looked like a snake in the air because of the smoke from behind. All right. You got the body of the ICBM. You got the head, which is on the front part of the ICBM, and you got the tail, right? The smoke. Okay. Intercontinental ballistic missile. It says 20. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues yet repented not of the works of their hands. That was just to the point of that. I'm going to go back to Joel 2 and 3. But it says, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth, and the land is as the garden of Eden before them. And basically it's describing the thermonuclear missile, the ICBM, alright, because it says, and behind them a flame burneth. Alright, you got the back part of the missile, alright, where the smoke comes out of, and you see the ICBM flying through the air. Alright, here, America seems to be like that one great country. It's but it's about to be destroyed with ICBM missiles. But it says, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yeah, and nothing shall escape them. And that's right. You can't escape from ICBM. All right, there's no way that you can escape from ICBM missile, because once they are shot, you know, it's over with. Right? There's no way of that missile turning backwards. And the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of the mountains, they shall leap. Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoured the stubble, as strong people set in battle array. And yeah, the missiles are like, when they be shot, all right, they look like an army, all right, because there's so many of them, all right. Just like as you got rows of armies from one side, and then you got their uh, opponents from the other side charging after each other with spears, all right, shields. It's the same thing as what's being described with these ICBM missiles. All right, once they be shot, they fly over here with pure accuracy, and they hit the ground. It says, before the face and the people shall be much pain, all faces shall gather blackness. Yeah, these people here in America, all right, once to see these missiles be shot, all right, they're gonna be terrified as fuck. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Meaning that these ICBM missiles are not going to fail once they be shot. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. When they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. That's right. They're gonna hit each other. All right. There's nothing that's gonna stop these missiles from hitting America. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the horses' houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble, and the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And that's right, because once those ICBMs be shot, they're going to be covering the sun, all right, the sky, the clouds, everything. Verse 11, the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong to execute his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible. Who can abide it? All right. And here, only the elect are going to be delivered out of this. All right. As for everybody else, all right, they're doomed. All right. No one else can survive, this upcoming, all right, nuclear war. Well, only the elect are going to be saved out of it. Well, it says Joel 2:32, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord has said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call. And that's right. Only the elect are going to call upon Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. All these other people, all these, 2/3, all right, 2/3 of our people, they don't have, they don't know the Lord, all right. They don't have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. But it says, as the Lord has said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call. It says, basically, only a remnant, all right, a remnant of Israel, a small number, all right, the chosen elect are going to be saved in these last days and from the total destruction of America. All right, the Lord is going to deliver them. But, with that, hope this lesson was edifying. I'll give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, and Shalom.